I would call the Village of Westmont Planning and Zoning Commission to meeting to order for August 14th, 2013. May we have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Pill?
Here.
Commissioner Anton?
Here.
Commissioner Fleet?
Here.
Commissioner Van Buren is here. Commissioner Fidesco?
Here.
Chairman Richard?
Here.
We have a quorum.
If you would please all rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. While I have you standing, please, if you would, I would ask that you silence any and all electronic devices, and then if you're going to give any testimony tonight, either for or against any item on our agenda, you've got to be sworn in. So if you please raise your hand. I swear that any testimony I give this evening shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help me God. Thank you. Now, if anybody is here for the Bradford Real Estate, when we call it, the meeting has been pulled until next month, the petitioner, so nobody is stuck waiting for something that won't happen tonight. Okay. Next item on the agenda is approval of our minutes for the June 12th and July 10th, which we do not have. They're not prepared for us. John, do we need a motion on this, or?
Nope.
Okay, they're not available, so we'll go to open hearing. New business, planning and zoning item 13020. Tom Karoulis, owner, and Charles Matisse, tenant, of State Farm Insurance regarding the property located at 44 South Cass for the following. A, special use permit request to operate a ground floor insurance office in the B1 Limited Business District. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
If you would please sign in.
Hi, my name is Chaz Matese. Thank you for allowing me to take the opportunity to present my case to earn a special use permit. I'm a new State Farm insurance agent looking to open an office in the downtown business district. I've been with State Farm for over 5 years. I've worked with 2 new agents launching their offices successfully in 2 other towns, 2 other suburbs of Chicago. I've worked in our corporate offices in Bloomington. For the last 8 months, I've been in a rigorous training program and internship, helping me and guiding me along the path to opening my own insurance office. Back when I started the process of becoming an agent, taking that path, there were multiple opportunities that were available to me. I chose Westmont. Westmont stood out to my wife and I because its family-friendly feel, the multitude of community events and activities, and its proximity and ease of access to Chicago for my wife. She works at a law firm in the city. Although we do not currently live in Westmont, we are planning to relocate here after my business is up and running and established. After I applied for and was approved to be a new agent in Westmont, I knew the downtown area was a perfect fit for my office. It is a location that will be mutually beneficial for the village, its residents, and my agency. The space at 44 South Cass provides ample opportunity for expansion in the future, negating the necessity to ever move out of the downtown area. It's a place I can be in for quite some time. Recently, looking to her future, another State Farm agent, Chris Angelieri, moved out of the downtown business district. She was looking to her future and to retirement down the line. Through conversations with many local business owners and residents, we've found that she built a great relationship with her customers. In her absence, I plan to nurture and build relationships with new customers in the same well-respected manner that she did. Through those quality relationships with my customers, residents, and other organizations, my office will provide positive financial impact on the village. Currently, about 35% of the Village of Westmont residents have State Farm insurance, although I may not be their agent. As those residents are downtown, in and out of the shops, walking to and from, and they stop in and have questions and concerns, I will support them and be their advocate. As my office opens, evolves, and grows, I will be a job creator in the village of Westmont. I currently have 3 employees, and I'm looking to hire 1 or 2 more, specifically local residents, before I open. Already, my team has positively financially impacted the village through patronizing local businesses, banking at local banks, eating at local restaurants. 2 of my employees who are not from Westmont are also moving to Westmont as their leases expire in current apartment situations in southern suburbs. My business plan lays out a plan to create an internship program with local high schools, an internship program that can help provide valuable experience for juniors and seniors looking to study business in college or enter the workforce right directly from high school. My office will be open at times that are complementary to other shops and restaurants in the business district. Monday through Thursday, we'll be open from 9 to 7, Friday 9 to 5, Saturday 10 to 3, and then Sundays as necessary or by appointment only. So those hours will nicely complement the other local businesses that are by. My business plan shows that I will grow by 50 new households or families per month. As much as I would like all 50 of those families to come from Westmont, it's not a reality. So about 30 of those families will be from other suburbs or towns. As those customers, especially the ones from other communities, come to and from my office, they'll pass through some of the most consumer-friendly parts of the village. What a great way to show off the village of Westmont, all it has to offer. They stop at Tasty Treat for an ice cream cone, have dinner at Vincentori, or pick up flowers at the Westmont florist, providing a positive financial impact for the village. Aside from providing visibility to the established business, this traffic will also provide visibility to the available personal and commercial real estate that is available in Westmont. The planned development that I'm seeking a special use permit has experienced roughly a 40% vacancy rate. So my office would be a great addition to that location that would provide much needed traffic to that specific special use to help bolster its occupancy rates. My office will pride itself on being active in the community. As a corporation, State Farm is extremely active within the community, and I plan to implement the same type of strategies that they use. We are there from our customers and our neighborhoods we work in. My team and I plan to become active members in many organizations in the village, such as the Chamber. I heard some discussion of the Chamber earlier today, the Rotary Club and the Lions Club. I have a filled-out Chamber application on my desk just waiting for the approval of this, of the special use permit. I personally have met with and had some discussions with Mr. Greg Betelov from Choose DuPage. We've met multiple times, and I'll be joining Choose DuPage as a supporter as my business opens. I feel that active participation in these groups will lead to a strong, mutually beneficial relationship with my office and the village. Along with personally taking active roles within the community, we'll also actively market village events and entertainment, especially those events that are centered around the downtown business district, like the fresh markets or On a Taste of Westmont. Again, this is another way in which my office will provide positive financial impact to the village. I personally am a strong advocate for community service. I do quite a bit of community service. Carrying that over to my team, I will require that they do at least 40 hours of community service each calendar year. Once they reach that 40-hour mark, State Farm as a corporation donates $500 on their behalf to the charitable organization that they've done that work for. As my guidance and counseling to my team, I'll make sure those organizations are within Westmont so we can keep that volunteer time local as well as that monetary contribution local to the village of Westmont. Again, another way will positively financially impact the village. Through many examples I provided, it's evident that my office will be a center of influence both from a relationship standpoint and a financial standpoint, and needs to be located in the downtown business district. I look forward to a long, successful relationship with the village and its residents. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have. After that, I ask you make a recommendation to approve my special use permit. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we'll hear from the public. Is there anybody from the public who will speak on this issue? Seeing nobody raising their hands, we'll close the public comment portion. Let's start with Commissioner Fleet, if you would.
Sir, so the actual entrance to your building or to your office will be on
Richmond Street.
Richmond, yeah. What type of signage? I know you had some typical pictures in here.
Sure.
We have a lighted sign.
No lighted signs. Comply strictly with the village signage requirements. Far less than 40% of the available window space will be used as signage. There'll be no lighted signs, no additional signage I'll be applying for, other than the window vinyls that I provided basic pictures of.
Okay, thank you. Good luck.
Commissioner Fidesco?
Being that this building is somewhat vacant, I mean, it does have some occupants, but, you know, as far as businesses, I do think that it needs to be filled, and, you know, your type of business does kind of go throughout the community, and it does bring in all kinds of people, whether they're business owners or whether they're private citizens that have insurance on a house or cars or whatever. So I do think it's good for the village, even though it's not a tax-generating type business. I think it will be a good fit.
Thank you.
So, no other comments.
Commissioner Van Buren?
You referenced Chris Angelieri's State Farm office, and I understand that's been closed, the one here on
Yes.
Quincy. However, it did open further down on Cass Avenue.
Correct. Chris moved in and into a vacant space with another agent. They combined office space. Chris is looking towards her future in retirement. The other agent, Greg Clemens, is looking for, they compiled some cost-saving pieces, but her office in the business district is closed. It's vacant currently.
Okay, is there any State Farm regulation that allows you to have an office so close to one that already now exists?
There's no definitive regulation. Obviously, I've been in contact with the other agents close by, and State Farm chooses locations where they want offices to be given a certain town, and then it's up to the agent to choose within that town where they would like to be, assuming there's a gentleman's relationship or a gentleman's handshake with other agents. I don't plan to impose on any of her business or any other State Farm agent's business.
You're not taking on any of her?
No, I'm not taking on any
policyholders.
clients. I'm starting from nothing.
Okay. That's all I have.
Thank you.
Commissioner Anton?
I concur with the other, my peers. I think it's empty space, and we need to get some people in there. And I like your presentation, really good. It's good to bring up what you bring to the community, because that's important. And good luck with it.
Thank you.
Commissioner Pill?
Thank you. One of the best presentations I've heard in a long time. Well orchestrated, very concise, very clear. You set the bar for the people who are following you next as far as presentations.
We have the
go.
baby, so I had to do something, right? So, yeah.
You're right there.
Yeah.
Good job. And it would have been much harder to produce that baby, right?
Life went first, right?
Excellent. I was curious in your choice of location to not be on a major street, be more around the corner like that, because signage is limited for that building.
Sure.
Do you feel that that's going to be a detriment?
I don't feel it'll be a detriment. As much as I would like to have my frontage on the main thoroughfare on Cass Avenue, I did, from a new business standpoint, need to look at a cost basis. The price of rent was more attractive to me. One, just around the corner. I think the signage that I've created, although it's well within the limits of the village, it will be very visible from Cass, especially proceeding north on Cass, and Richmond as well. In some of the advertising that I'll do, I'll make note that the entrance on Richmond Street, although it's a Cass address. No, I don't think it'll be a hindrance, though.
Mm-hmm. I like your community involvement ideas.
Mm-hmm.
As the president of the Westmont Chamber, I would strongly encourage you to turn in the application
Yeah.
at your earliest convenience.
That's a
We're
threat, I think.
always looking for new members, so that's a great
My
thing.
team has been in there regularly talking to the folks.
The executive director is
Yep.
Larry Forsberg, so, yep, he's over there. That's a great thing. I like how you're put together where the team members are volunteering and things like that, and there's a chance to keep it within the community. I like that also, so support this 100%. No
thank
further
you.
questions.
I agree with my fellow commissioners, and the only thing, I hope you're going to need more office space, and you go around to Cass Avenue where you'll have your signage.
Yeah, there is some vacancies still in that building that I would like to have, but new
It'd be
business
nice
got to
if you
manage
could move
costs.
into it.
Yeah, so in the future we can expand
Okay. I neglected to call that staff, and I apologize.
I have nothing new that the commission didn't already cover.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, since we have a request for a special use, we need readings of the findings of fact if we could.
State Farm Insurance, 44 South Cass Avenue, request for a special use to allow a ground floor office on the B1 Limited Business District. Criteria number 1, that the establishment, maintenance, or operation of the special use will not be detrimental to or endanger the public health, safety, morals, comfort, or general welfare. Other service-oriented offices are located in the immediate area and throughout the central business district without adverse impacts to the public. The proposed insurance office will not result in detrimental noise, light, traffic, odor, hours of operation, or other adverse impacts to the public. In general, this use will attract customers to the central business district who may patronize retail stores and restaurants, and this use will fill an otherwise vacant space. Criteria number 2. The special use will not be injurious to the use and enjoyment of other property in the immediate vicinity for the purposes already permitted, nor substantially diminish or impair property values within the neighborhood. This passive office use will be completely enclosed and will not adversely affect other property in the immediate vicinity. Criteria number 3. The establishment of the special use will not impede the normal and orderly development and improvement of surrounding property for uses permitted in the district. The surrounding area is fully developed, and this use will not adversely impact development or redevelopment of surrounding properties. Criteria 4. Adequate utilities, accessways, drainage, and/or other necessary facilities have been or are being provided. The building in which this office use will be located is already served by all necessary utilities, accessways, drainage, parking, and other necessary facilities. Criteria number 5. Adequate measures have been or will be taken to provide ingress and egress so designed as to minimize traffic congestion in the public streets. The property contains adequate off-street parking for employees and customers. Its main entrance is accessible via the public sidewalk along Richmond Street. The property is in close proximity to public train and bus transportation centers. This office use is not expected to generate significant vehicular or pedestrian traffic. Criteria 6. The special use shall in all other respects conform to the applicable regulations of the district in which it is located, except as such regulations may in each instance be modified by the village board pursuant to the recommendation of the Plan Commission. This use, as proposed, meets all provisions of the Westmont zoning ordinance, and no other variances or special uses are required.
If you agree with these findings, please raise your hand. We are unanimous in agreeing in the reading of the findings of fact for a special use, which are hereby adopted and approved. Under Planning and Zoning, item 13020, I would entertain a motion to recommend approval to the Board of Trustees. A special use permit request to operate a ground floor insurance office in the B1 Limited Business District.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Fidesco, seconded by Commissioner Pill. Question on the motion. May we have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Anton?
Yes.
Commissioner Fleet?
Yes.
Commissioner Van Buren votes yes. Commissioner Fidesco?
Yes.
Commissioner Pill?
Yes.
And Chairman Richard?
Yes. All right, sir, you have our recommendation for approval, and good luck to you.
Great, thank you so much for your time tonight.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda, Planning and Zoning, item 13021. I have the initial G, Renee, and Christopher Mooney regarding the property located at 36 South Lincoln for the following. A, zoning code variance request to allow the construction of an addition within a required setback in a side yard adjoining the street in the R3 Single Family Detached Residence District. B, zoning code variance request to allow the construction of a front porch larger than 100 square feet in the required front yard setback and side yard adjoining the street in the R3 Single Family Detached Residence District. I must remind you, the pretty little blonde did not raise her hand, so she didn't give any testimony.
You have anything to say? You didn't raise your hand.
Well said, madam, well said.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, village staff. We are Renee and Chris Moomey, and we reside at 36 South Lincoln Street. We're here before you today requesting 2 variances to code to allow us to renovate our house to one is suitable for a growing family. A little history about us and 36 South Lincoln Street. I bought this residence in 2005 as a single professional woman new to Illinois. The small-town charm of Westmont, distance from Chicago and O'Hare, combined with the charm of this 882-square-foot home, a 91-year-old home with rich and beautifully mature landscaping was perfect for me. I was dating Chris at the time, and eventually he moved in, and we were married in 2010. It took some twisting of an arm. The house was perfect for the 2 of us. This is me buying the house. So it was perfect for the 2 of us. Fast forward to February of 2012, and our dear Eliza was born. She's a little bigger now. It was still tight for the three of us, but still manageable. At least she's too young to complain about her 7 by 10-foot room. I figure I've got about 2 more years before she starts complaining. She might have just heard about it. Here we are now, and we're overjoyed to be expecting another baby this coming February. Now, 882 square feet feels a bit claustrophobic for a pregnant woman, and here we are today. And that, by the way, is not Facebook approved, so please, nobody on Facebook knows about that. We've spoken to 3 contractors and have another appointment tomorrow to explore renovation options that will give us more living space for a growing family. It's very important for us to maintain as much outdoor living space as when the weather cooperates, you'll always find us outside. Once we had a rough idea of what contractors best thought our course of action should be, we worked closely with Jill, and she's been extremely helpful. Thank you so much for that, Jill. Our main hardship and reason for requesting these variances is due to the fact that adhering to current codes, we would be forced to renovate our home into a long and skinny house, essentially making a row house without the row. Our house was built in 1921 and has beautiful mature trees and landscaping in the backyard, and we've worked very hard to preserve that. It's important for us to keep as much backyard intact to allow our children a safe environment to play. A request for variance to code is not setting a new precedent along Richmond Street. From Grant to Hudson, corner homes encroach into the required setback ranging about 8 to 23 feet. Our neighbors behind us have a setback of 16 feet, and we're requesting 18.2 feet. We understand that we live in a critical area for Westmont's stormwater drainage study and respect the importance to stay within the 35% lot coverage. Excluding the 18th of April storm, we have never had flooding in the house in the 8 years we have lived there. We have fine-tuned our request to ensure that we stay within that code. We do want to invest our money here, and we believe that Westmont is moving in the right direction. Our only predicament is that we need a larger home than 882 square feet to raise our family. We hope that you will allow us to improve our home so that we can stay in Westmont. So I have a couple other pictures, and I think you might have some. This is the front of the house. Going about 12 feet out is about to here. A little, it's kind of hard to gauge on the front shot. Here's the corner of the property. Again, the house is pushed over to the side, so we have quite a bit of space on this side. Jill, did they get a copy of this slide? Okay.
Yes.
We're here before you today without plans. I know that I talked to one builder today, actually, our appointment for tomorrow, and he was surprised that I was at this stage requesting for a variance to code without having any sort of plans laid out. And our issue is it cost us $500 to come to you before you today for 2 variances to code, and we didn't want to have to spend $4,000 to $5,000 on plans that maybe would never get passed through without getting the variance. So we'd rather invest the money to talk about the codes first, understand what we have our ability to work with, and then go to an architect to start working on plans. This is kind of a little dream house for me. I know there's a lot of features in here that we won't be able to afford, but really we want to keep the look and feel of a cottage, and really our home is a Sears and Roebuck home. We really want to keep that look and feel of it's our neighborhood. So we want to keep the porch around. We may wrap it depending on cost back just a little bit. Again, it's about indoor living space as much as it is about out. And this is a side shot of what we'd aim to do. And that's it. Thank you very much.
Is there anybody from the public who will speak on this issue? Please, if you would, sir, come up and sign in.
My name is Greg Brokoff. I live at 35 South Grant. I guess the residence I'm finding out is also against your variances, but the house was built that way, so back in '54. I've lived here for 19 years. My dad grew up in this area. I like the town. I'm planning on staying here until my last day. I've known Chris and Renee since they moved in and stuff. Great neighbors, you know, the new baby and baby coming in on the way. I'm hoping that you guys would allow them to do this so they wouldn't have to move and then maybe build a bigger house there or something. So I'm hoping you'd allow them to do this because, again, they are very good neighbors. That's it. Thanks.
Thank you. Any further public comment? Okay, we'll close the public comment. Staff.
With the improvements, which would include maintaining the architectural style, extending the porch, keeping mature landscaping, and maintaining the 35% lot coverage, this should fit well with the neighborhood, which, as they've mentioned, has many encroachments along Richmond, especially with the older homes that were built before the zoning code was more restrictive.
Thank you. Okay, let's start with Commissioner Pill, if you would.
Excellent. We're 2 for 2 in presentations tonight. Excellent job. We didn't even have to call upon a little one, so it was great. I liked the pictures, and it was great to have that illustrated for all of us. I was out there on Sunday, and I see exactly what you're saying. This is like, it's so crystal clear. I can't think of one question. I'm 100%. I guess one. Is that one pine tree staying on the side? It looked like 12 feet would keep it, but the branches looked like they'd get in the way.
We're not sure. It depends on what there's cedar trees. There's two there actually, along Richmond, and I don't know. It
could always start fresh, I suppose.
You know, we're asking for 12 and a half feet to be able to push out is what it is. In the end, we may only build 8 feet. Again, it comes down to cost. It comes down, and then if we don't go as far, we can keep the trees, but as you know, that if you are building and the overhang of the tree, your roots are kind of in that same.
Right.
So we may not be able to keep them. I would like to keep them.
I was just curious.
Yeah, we'll
You
see.
can always start fresh. You've got plenty of others, which
Yeah,
is great.
it's a great lot. I fell in love with it the day I saw it.
Best of luck. 100%
Thank you.
behind it.
Thank you.
No, I'm all for it. I'm all for it too. I really am. I have a corner lot still over on the north side of town. The corner lots are a pain, so I get it 100%.
They're beautiful, though.
They are. Go as big as you can. You know, try and make up for it later.
Thank you.
Do the
I'll
best
come
you
to you
can.
for some additional funding.
Yeah, there you go. And good luck with the new one too.
Thank you so much.
Commissioner Van Buren.
I too live on a corner lot. It does give you some problems, but I think you're doing a good job of it. I'm all for it.
Thank you.
Commissioner Fidesco.
I hope that the outcome is as good as that rendering.
Gorgeous,
Because it's
right?
beautiful.
I
you know,
love
and,
it.
and, you know, even though we have, you know, the code is such that, you know, we restrict the size of the front porch. If you couldn't expand it, the house just wouldn't look right.
No, it
You
really
have to
wouldn't.
do that. So I'm all for it. Best of luck.
Thank you so much.
Commissioner Fleet.
Yeah, I really like your plans. And a question on the south part of the wall that you kick out, are you going to build additional basement space under that, or that'll
No,
just
I
be
don't
on a
think
slab?
so. I think we
Or-
may do crawl space.
Crawl space.
Again, that comes down to cost, so it may just be a slab. But we do have the existing basement too, so it kind of just comes down to cost. We know that we have to put a steel beam down there so that, because we won't be able to support going up a floor. But we'll see how it ends up coming out. I would love to do crawl space.
Okay. Good luck.
Thank
Be
you.
looking forward to it.
Thank you.
As Commissioner Fleet said, if you do a crawl space, I would offer a suggestion. I had a crawl space too. I just covered it with concrete. Best thing I ever did.
Really?
Yeah. And if you were, I would recommend it because it gets moldy in there, it gets stink in the summertime. And they had the pump line in where you can just
Pour it and be done.
pour it and be done with it.
Do you pour concrete or do you place concrete?
I try not to touch it. I walk on it.
Makes me do it.
Can I also
Please,
say the
yes.
same thing? I had a former home that I also did the same thing, and right from the get-go, placed concrete or poured concrete, had the contractor pour the concrete
Okay.
in the crawl space, and it was wonderful.
Okay.
I mean, there's no seepage. I mean, it's dry. I mean, that's just information, but it's a good suggestion.
It's a great suggestion. Honestly, it's more affordable to do that than to do crawl space, is what I'm understanding. That's what I've heard from two contractors, but, you know, until it comes down to it. But thank you for that, that's great.
It can be money well spent.
Yeah,
And
for
I know
sure.
money's tight. I could understand that. I did have a question on your dream home on the porch.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see it mentioned here, but it looked like you were envisioning, hopefully, maybe a porch on the side where the addition would go. I would
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
ask council, would that require a variance to put a porch out there? So you may be,
Have a third?
So you're 18.2-foot setback.
Correct.
From the side yard lot line.
That would include the
Have to include
porch.
the porch.
Right.
And if you're going
That's
to
understood.
encroach further, you'd have to come back for another variance, which staff would probably discourage.
And honestly, at that point, I'd be over the 35% lot coverage, so I wouldn't go there anyway. And I think to be able to keep as much indoor space, we'd probably just wrap maybe 10 feet back, and then the rest would be house. But we would keep, everything would be on that 18.2 feet.
to wrap 10 foot back? Well, that's-
Which she's saying, if they wrap the porch around at all, they still have to understand they have to maintain the
Same
18.2
footprint.
foot setback.
Yes.
It wouldn't encroach any further.
Right, we keep the same
Just so you
footprint.
I don't want you to get a surprise later
I
on. is all.
appreciate that.
Okay, we have a request for some variances. If we could have a reading of findings of fact, please.
36 South Lincoln Avenue. Request for variances to allow a home addition which will encroach into the required setback in a side yard adjoining a street, and to allow a front porch larger than 100.
Please, pardon me.
Sure.
We have one reading of the findings of fact for both variances, just so everybody
Okay.
understands. I apologize.
That's
Jim.
okay, they're combined. And to allow a front porch larger than 100 square feet in the required front yard setback and side yard adjoining a street. Criteria number 1, the property in question cannot yield a reasonable return if permitted to be used only under the conditions allowed by the regulations in the district in which it is located. The current home is modestly sized, approximately 900 square feet, and expansion is needed to meet the needs of the applicant's family and to provide updated living spaces. Expanding to the rear of the house would result in an unaesthetic, long and skinny house and would result in a financial hardship due to the removal of a backyard, outdoor living area, and landscaping. The front porch is being expanded to match the expansion of the house into the side yard and in order to maintain the look of this craftsman-style house. The variances are modest in scope, a 6.8-foot encroachment into the side yard setback adjoining a street, and the front porch will not extend further into the front yard setback than what exists today. The applicant could not financially expand and improve this house without these variances. Criteria number 2, the plight of the home of the owner is due to unique circumstances. The home and front porch currently encroach into the front yard setback. The applicant will not increase this existing encroachment. The front porch will expand only sideways to meet the new width of the house. The side yard setback encroachment will still maintain 18.2 feet of separation to the side yard lot line. Expansion to the rear of the property would effectively eliminate the applicant's backyard. Criteria number 3, the variation, if granted, will not alter the essential character of the locality. Numerous homes in the area have similar legal, non-conforming encroachments into both the front yard setbacks and side yard setbacks adjoining streets. The variances sought here are modest in scope and in keeping with the character of the neighborhood. The proposed expansion will be within the maximum allowed lot coverage requirement and will not create adverse stormwater impacts to neighboring properties. The proposed home improvements will only enhance the character of the neighborhood.
If you agree with these findings, please raise your hand. We are in agreement with the findings of fact for a variance, which are hereby adopted. I would entertain a recommendation of approval to the Board of Trustees for a motion. Item A, a zoning code variance request to allow the construction of an addition within a required side back and a side yard adjoining the street in the R3 Single Family Detached Residence District.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Anton, seconded by Commissioner Van Buren.
Second.
Motion, question on the motion. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Fleet?
Yes.
Commissioner Van Buren votes yes. Commissioner Fidesco?
Yes.
Commissioner Pill?
Yes.
Commissioner Anton?
Yes.
And Chairman
Yes.
Richards.
I would entertain a motion to recommend approval to the Board of Trustees. Item B, a zoning code variance request to allow the construction of a front porch larger than 100 square feet in the required front yard setback and side yard adjoining the street in the R3 Single Family Detached Residence District.
So moved?
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Pill, seconded by Commissioner Anton. Question on the motion. A roll call, please.
Commissioner Van Buren votes yes. Commissioner Fidesco?
Yes.
Commissioner Pill?
Yes.
Commissioner Anton?
Yes.
Commissioner Fleet?
Yes.
Chairman Richard?
Yes. All right, folks, you have our recommendation for approval. Unfortunately, it's only a recommendation, but
We appreciate it
good luck
tremendously.
to you.
Thank you. And thanks, Bill.
Take care.
under planning and zoning, item 13022, Bradford Real Estate, that the request has been postponed until our September meeting, I'm told.
But we do need to open up the public hearing and formally have a motion to enter and continue.
Okay, we'll open the public hearing. Seeing nobody from the public, I would entertain a motion to postpone, John,
Yeah, to continue the public hearing.
to continue the public hearing until our September meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Fidesco, seconded by Commissioner Anton. Question on the motion, a roll call, please.
Commissioner Fidesco?
Yes.
Commissioner Pill?
Yes.
Commissioner Anton?
Yes.
Commissioner Fleet?
Yes.
Commissioner Van Buren votes yes. And Chairman Richard?
Yes. Okay, we have no other items on the agenda. Staff, do you have anything?
I have no other items.
Any commissioners have any items? Motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn?
Second?
Motion by Commissioner Pill, seconded by Commissioner Van Buren. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.